Welcome, everyone. This is Rebecca Smith-Aldridge from the Mid-Hudson Library System, and we welcome you to the Mid-Hudson Engage webinar series. This webinar series is dedicated to helping member libraries understand best how to connect with their communities and really learn about what community engagement looks like in the real world. Today, we're speaking with Erica Freudenberger, the director of the Red Hook Public Library. Erica is somewhat library famous, shall we say. She's been named a mover and shaker by Library Journal in 2016 and is renowned as being one of the trailblazers of the Libraries Transforming Communities program from the American Library Association. Erica is here today to share with us her experience of engaging with her community to make sure she's aligning what her library is working on with what her community really cares about. So without further ado, we'll turn it over to Erica.
Thanks so much, Rebecca. And I also want to thank Rebecca and Mid-Hudson for putting together this series and for giving me the opportunity to share what I am completely obsessed with, and that is community engagement. Why? Because I've seen what it can do. I've been leading the Red Hook Public Library since August of 2010. When I took the helm, the library had a reputation for being so profoundly unfriendly, it was best to avoid altogether, particularly if you had children under the age of 18. I inherited a building project that was being financed out of my $165,000 a year operating budget, a staff that was unhappy, and a community that avoided the library like the plague. I needed to raise the profile of the library, and I tried traditional ways to push our message out to the public. We did lots and lots of outreach and marketing, telling people all about our fabulous services. But why would anyone take our word for how awesome we were when their experience had been otherwise? And then I had an epiphany. And as you can see here in my work with the NYLA Sustainability Initiative, it was a sustainable epiphany. It was not enough to communicate our value. We had to be valuable. Thus began a journey from where we were to where we are today. I had an ambitious vision of what I believed our library could be and knew we didn't have the resources to do it on our own. We collaborated with everyone from the school district, Bard College, our Chamber of Commerce, the Rotary, Historic Red Hook, and anyone else we could find. I describe myself as a promiscuous collaborator for a reason. We began by approaching partners strategically, depending on what we needed. We wanted to hold a program on robotics, but didn't have the expertise to do so, so we got in touch with Bard College's computer department. We needed help providing one-on-one tech support for our patrons, so asked the high school to help identify teens who would be willing to provide volunteer tech support. When we wanted to hold a summer science camp or have a teen henna program, we asked Bard students to help out. Everyone was eager and willing to help, and it was a beautiful thing. In 2014, we took part in the American Library Association Libraries Transforming Communities initiative. When we went to the first meeting, we felt quite smug. After all, we were already collaborating with everyone in town, and my team included our deputy mayor, who you can see in this picture, right in the middle, that's Brent, the deputy director of Bard College's Center for Civic Engagement, and a retired regional head of Parks and Recs, that's Jane on the right, and then my head of circulation on the left. We thought we were winning. We were wrong. Collaboration and partnership are not community engagement. Those are really important starting points, but they're not the end goal. Having meetings with and working across institutional boundaries is really important. But until we make time to have conversations with our communities about their aspirations and then empower them to make the changes they want to see, we're only scratching the surface. In the past 2 years, we've talked to hundreds of people, going door to door at local festivals and grocery stores, over the counter, wherever people are willing to talk for a couple minutes. We do this together, what we call public knowledge. And this is different from what we know as librarians, which is expert knowledge. We're really great at navigating information, and we're really good at accessing all sorts of different tools. But what we don't have is public knowledge, which is what people talk about every day. If you look at the series of questions on the screen, you will notice we do not ask anything about the library because it's not about us. It's about the community. So what the heck is community engagement? Here's what the Urban Library Council said, and I think it gets to the heart of what community engagement strives to do, which is to improve the civic health of a community. What do I mean by that? The purpose of libraries is not to create the best possible consumers we can. It's to empower citizens to be actively involved in a democratic society. And I'll be honest, it takes a lot of time and chances are a significant organizational shift to do this work. It's really hard to let go of the library being the center of the universe. But once you do and you turn outward to your community, your life and your organization will never be the same. It's terrifying, exhilarating, and sometimes a hot mess. It's all about creating a healthy community where everyone understands that there's more that unites us than divides us. We need to respect the communities we serve enough so that we follow this basic rule. Don't make decisions about me without me, which in the library world we do all the time. We tear our hair out when people don't come to programs. We don't understand why our circulation is declining. Our solution is to look for the next new, bright, shiny thing to attract interest. Perhaps a mobile app or a cake pan or whatever the new trend is. And it's not that those things aren't cool, and it's not that those things aren't good to offer, because they are. But we spend a lot of time reinventing ourselves, trying desperately to remain relevant. But we don't want to new Coke our patrons to death. What we need to do is to stop guessing, and most importantly, stop asking people what they want from the library. Because people really don't know. And if you ask them, they tell you they want more of everything. And unless you can actually provide more of everything, that's not something that you can respond to in a good way. But if you spend time asking questions about what people want to see happen in their community and really listen to the answers, you'll hear something quite different. And I understand that this is hard. It's easier and more comfortable to continue to guess, plus you don't have to leave your office. But here's the truth of the matter. What people want is not product-based, but relationship-based. We can't buy ourselves out of this. We have to do the much more difficult, high-touch, and time-intensive work of relationship building. In Red Hook, our narrative was that the town was divided. There were people who had names that could be found in the Palatine phone book, if they had such a thing. And there were also lots of new folk coming up from the city. And new people wanted to change everything that was wonderful about Red Hook. As we began talking to people, something that we as librarians are perfectly positioned to do, right? Because we're boundary-spanning organizations, we kept hearing the same things over and over again. Because it turns out, as much as people think they want different things, everyone wants the same things. We heard that people are really happy to live in Red Hook, but there is, of course, room for improvement. They want to live in a safe community that embraces diversity, has a walkable, vibrant village with thriving businesses, hosts ample social gatherings so neighbors can continue to get to know each other and keep the small town relationships they value while providing more leadership and volunteer opportunities for teens and 20-somethings. And people were feeling isolated due to limited transportation. We're in the northwest corner of the county, and services for our county are based in Poughkeepsie, which is about 45 minutes away by car. It's inconvenient if you have a car, and if you don't, it's a major obstacle. People who have one car per family or no car are often unable to reach needed services. We decided to stop waiting for people to find us and instead take our programs to people wherever they are. Rather than waiting for teens to come to the library, we hold after-school programs at the high school, where coincidentally, and very happily for us, they have a 3D printer. We partner with nonprofits to provide services to our community. We do the legwork so our neighbors don't have to. So we all know that the summer reading program helps prevent summer slide. But what happens to the kids who can't get to the library to take part in our summer reading program? This year, we partnered with our elementary school librarians and Bard College and Down in the left, that's Barbara Shoemaker, who is the K2 librarian. And on the right, that's Syra from Bard College with one of the Bard College vans. We did this so we could bring a mobile pop-up library that brought books and programs throughout the town. Bard provides the van and the driver, the school librarians bring books, and we lead programs. Each Friday, we begin at the rec park, then travel north to Maple Lane, a trailer park tucked away on a back road. We finish our loop at Holy Cow, the most popular place in town. It's an ice cream store. We're making time to connect with our community where they are. They don't need to find us, because we'll find them. Our mayor calls what's been happening in our town the Red Hook Renaissance, and says the library's been a big part of it, which makes me really proud. But what we've done is nothing special. We're not the heroes of the story. It's all based on a simple premise. Find out what really matters to people and make it happen. Why? Because I want our library and all libraries to go viral, to become so deeply embedded in the communities we serve that we're part of every conversation and sit at every table. As Emily Bunyan of Knox County Public Library says, community engagement is about making the shift from thinking that the library is the heart of the community to making the community the heart of the library. Thanks so much for your time today, everybody. I know you've got busy schedules, so I appreciate you taking a moment to listen to me. And if you have any questions, you can always contact me. There's all sorts of different ways to do it. Have a great day.
Erica, thank you so much. That was great to see the story of how you got to where you are today, which is really is the quintessential way we want to see libraries moving forward in the future, of connecting with their communities and really being a part of their communities through those conversations that help identify where we want to go as a group, not where we want to go as an organization or as a library individually. I bet a lot of people listening would love to know, when you did your interviews with people in the community, how did you actually interact with them? I saw a picture of your team in what looked like someone's home. Were those door-to-door interviews or bigger community group meetings? Could you talk a little bit about that for us?
Oh, thanks, Rebecca. Yes. So we did both. We did go door to door, and that was the power of our team. So by asking people who were not part of the library to be a part of our team, and including the deputy mayor, his experience had been each election when he goes out door to door to talk to people, that he was getting really great information. So when we came back from our first training with Libraries Transforming Communities, he said, we need to go door to door and hit every home in the village. And so that's what we did. So we set out, we put together a team, and we went house to house and just asked people if they were willing to talk. And this is really important. So there's a lot of tools, if we go back to the tools slide, at ala.ltc.org that you can use. And we use the ask exercise. And this is normally an exercise that takes maybe 5 to 10 minutes max. And that's a tool that and you use that with individuals. When we went door to door, what we found is that even though it was an exercise that was supposed to take 5 to 10 minutes, people were inviting us in their homes to sit down and to have these conversations. And when you ask people these questions and you listen to what they're saying, those conversations go on for much longer. So just be prepared. A lot of those conversations lasted for 20 to 40 minutes. And now, how did we do this? Because we have a very small team and a very small staff at the library. So we worked with Bard College to have summer interns, and we had an intern and one member of our cohort team to go out and to do these, so that everybody was involved every day. We did it. We had to build capacity in a way that made sense for us to make it happen. We also went out and talked to all of the community groups, all of our partners, and people that we hadn't yet partnered with. Everybody from the fire department to Historic Red Hook to the Chamber of Commerce. And with that, we used a different tool called the aspirations exercise. And that's a tool that you use with organizations that currently work together and that are continuing to work together to get their kind of their view of the community and what they see as the needs of the community. So those were two of the ways that we did it. And then the third way was holding much larger community conversations, which take about 2 hours to do, which we invited to do. And the way we got people to come to those is we used the ask exercise when we went door to door, we used that as a recruiting tool and asked people if they would be willing to come and meet with us to have a longer conversation in more depth. And that's where we pulled people from that.
That sounds fabulous. How long did that process take you?
We did that over a course of 8 months. We spent 8 months in 2014 gathering public knowledge. And then we put all that information into a spreadsheet and started looking for themes and what were the same. And it actually became obvious pretty early on because, like I said, even though everybody thinks that they think very differently than anyone else, the very same concerns and the very same aspirations kept coming up. So it became very, very clear very quickly what it was the community wanted to see happen.
It's so great these tools are freely available on ALA's website. We're going to be adding the links to those tools as well as the mini webinars they have to guide a library through a similar process to the Mid-Hudson Engage website that goes along with these webinars. So everyone will be able to refer to that and click on those links and get to that information to learn how they could implement a similar process in their community too. So Eric, I just want to say thanks again. This was fabulous that you made time. I know you're one of the busiest library directors around, and it means a lot to everyone that you took the time to do this. So thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. Absolutely.